Welcome to CSBJ Radio. CSBJ Radio is the premier online business talk radio show in the Southeast. CSBJ proactively connects, informs, and engages its listeners in all aspects of small business. Discover the entrepreneur in you with CSBJ Radio. Now, here's your host, Greg Wilson.
Hello and welcome to another edition of CSBJ Radio. I am your host, Greg Wilson, the owner and publisher of Connection Small Business Journal. You can find us online at www.connectmybusiness.me. Again, that's www.connectmybusiness.me. And for those of you who are watching this stream live on Facebook, again, www.connectmybusiness.me. Follow me utilizing every aspect of social media, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, utilizing at Connect My Biz. That's ConnectMyBizz. Today's podcast is being brought to you by Safety Shelter. If you are interested in finding out more about Safety Shelter Solutions or Weather Solutions, that commercial will be playing momentarily. And of course, if you're interested in advertising opportunities, give me a call. That number is going to be area code 706-289-7863, or connect with me utilizing the aforementioned website address. But today's podcast is entitled Luck versus Hustle. Luck versus Hustle. And I actually wrote my publisher's note for the new paper that's coming out. It'll be also as an insert in the Courier Echo Latino newspaper there in Columbus, Georgia. You know, every time I publish a paper, I do what I label as an editor's note, or in my case, a publisher's note. And, you know, I talked about the difference between luck and hustle. All right. I've done an Instagram post today on luck versus hustle. You know, in this community, in this small business community, it's interesting to hear, you know, individuals talk about their own individual businesses. Of course, I mean, we encourage that, and we want people to talk about and to promote their own individual businesses. But then when you begin to peel back the layers of these individual businesses and just listen to the drive, if you will, a lot of people who claim to be hustlers aren't hustlers. A lot of people who claim to just be about that life, if you will, when you peel back the layers of that onion, or the layers of whatever, it appears to me as if that individual is not about their hustle. They're lucky, but they don't hustle. Do we truly know what it means to hustle? I'm talking about every single day when you feel like it, when it's raining, when it's hot outside. Do we know what it means every single day to hustle? Individuals who claim to hustle, when you look at it, may have just been lucky. And some individuals who claim luck are true hustlers. You know, the post that I made on Instagram today talked about arranging a meeting between luck and hustle. We need to arrange a meeting between those two, or you know, it's very important for us as small business owners to be about our hustle. To every single day, when we feel like it, when we don't, how do you determine, if you will, if you are truly a bona fide hustler or not? And some people get this word hustle twisted. You know, they think and feel that, you know, that's an illegal, you know, I must be, you know, pushing, you know, dime bags of weed or some illegal product. No, you know, while those individuals do hustle, but what about us that have legitimate businesses? Those of us who have a legitimate business license, a legitimate practice, we provide a legitimate service. We still every single day should be about our hustle. And I want to encourage you that in order for us as small business owners to be truly successful, it's imperative that we be about our business, that we hustle every single day. I can't tell you the amount of times where I've gotten up in the morning and physically didn't feel like it, mentally didn't feel like it, emotionally didn't feel like it. But our businesses are counting on us, counting on the ability that we have to hustle. So we want to dive in just a little bit today. How do we go about getting that hustle? Because trust me, if you are sitting today waiting on luck, waiting on Lady Luck, and I'm not saying that she doesn't exist. I'm not saying that luck in itself doesn't exist. I'm not saying that that some of the things that maybe we have faith in, for example, prayer. Do I believe in prayer? Absolutely. But I am not going to hustle without prayer, and I'm not going to pray and don't hustle. Okay. So how do we go about getting that hustle? Let's take a dive into that today. The very first thing that I would encourage you to do is to place yourself in some uncomfortable situations. Some of you have businesses that you know that you should be out networking. You know that, hey, I should make this networking event, or hey, I should join this networking group. But because of fear, because of apprehension, because you don't think that you are necessarily ready, maybe you feel that you would be uncomfortable. Good. Step out of that. Step out of your comfort zone, the comfort zone of your home, the comfort zone of your business, the four walls, if you will, of your business. Place yourself in an uncomfortable situation outside of your comfort zone. People always say, well, Greg, man, how did you end up this way? It seems as if you can just talk to anyone and not meet strangers. Well, let me take you down memory lane. The 10th grade year, high school. I went to A.H. Parker High School in Birmingham, Alabama, the mighty Thundering Herd. All right. My 10th grade year, I was selected. They selected one student from the Birmingham City School System to go to a Hugh O'Brien Youth Foundation event. It was in Huntsville, Alabama at the Space and Rocket Center. Now, prior to this meeting, I don't think that I was outgoing. I don't think that I had what it would take to sustain myself in those uncomfortable type situations. Well, I showed up. My parents dropped me off for the weekend. I showed up and walked in, and lo and behold, I was the only grain of pepper at this particular meeting. 10th grade, a teenager, immediately immersed in an environment that I was not accustomed to. For those of you that are listening, you're familiar with Parker High School. Parker High School is all black. At least it was when I attended there. Predominantly black high school. All right. And here at the age of, I'm not sure what age, but I was in the 10th grade, immersed into this particular environment where I was the only African-American student there, period. Now, I had a choice. Do I sit in a corner and act all nervous? Do I sit in a corner and act as if I don't belong here? Each of these individuals present were selected. I also was selected. So you know what? I have a right to be here. So what did my little 10th grade self do? Got up, got involved, learned square dancing, the whole nine yards. All right. So I believe, when individuals say or ask me, man, how did you end up this way, where you can strike up a conversation with anyone, where you appear to be comfortable in every situation, how did you end up like this? Well, I was forced. I was placed into an uncomfortable situation. And even in the grade of the 10th grade in high school, the seeds were planted that made me the man that I am today, that made me the business owner that I am today. All right. So how do we get this hustle? How do we go about getting this hustle? The very first thing out the gate, we want to place ourselves into some uncomfortable situations, work outside of our comfort zone. We need to start promoting our company, even when you feel awkward talking about it. One of the things that I learned as a member of Chamber of Commerce years ago was a 30-second audio logo. So in 30 seconds, getting information out about your business, have that 30-second audio logo ready to roll off your tongue. Because again, opportunity and preparation go hand in hand. So if you are in that elevator, if you are at an airport somewhere and you meet someone, maybe you are able to talk to some individuals who are over crowdfunding. You cannot sit there and fumble. You can't fumble talking about your own baby. You know, that's as if someone were to ask me about my daughter Alexis. I can't fumble the ball on that. I know her. I know what she likes. All right. I know that she started a YouTube channel today. All right. So these things we cannot fumble the ball. All right. So force yourself into some uncomfortable situations outside of your comfort zone. Start promoting your business. To that note, promoting your business. You are the SME, SME. That acronym, you are the subject matter expert. I can't tell you about your business. I can't tell you all the ins and outs. I can consult with you on it. I can develop marketing strategies and talk to you about, hey, how do you increase your social media presence? I can do that. But all the ins and outs of that particular business, no, trust me, I don't necessarily have that. I'm not privy to that knowledge. But you, however, you are the subject matter expert. All right. I don't know anything about baking cakes. I know it takes flour and milk and 1 or 2 eggs. The temperature has to be right in an oven. I know that. But trust me, you don't want me in a kitchen baking cakes. You are the subject matter expert. Work on things. Number 2, work on things that truly move your company forward. A lot of times we as small business owners, we focus our attention on things that quite honestly are time wasters. When we should be moving the needle, when we should be investing time in this particular direction. A lot of us spend time maybe doing things that have absolutely nothing to do with our business. What is the return on that investment? That investment of time that you spent doing X, whatever that X means for you and your business. What is the return on that investment? I spent a lot of time on social media. I spent a lot of time growing my business on social media. The return on that investment are more followers, more people that are engaged. I have a community that I am engaged with online. I have a community that I am engaged with utilizing social media. All right. And then there's the ask aspect of social media. All right. So I've been engaged. I've developed relationships. I'm spending time with them, if you will, not physical time, but we know what I'm saying. This is a social event, a social network. So yes, it takes time to build that particular network. It takes time to develop those relationships. So at one point or at some point, when the time is right, I have provided, I've done the preparation, and now the opportunity presents itself. And these two things need to meet. Preparation and opportunity need to meet. And that, by the way, was the Instagram post. I misquoted myself earlier, but that was the Instagram post between preparation and opportunity. We need to arrange a meeting between those two. All right. So again, how do we go about getting that hustle? Number 1, force yourself into uncomfortable situations. Work on things that truly move the needle, that truly move your small business forward. That is what we need to do. Create a culture. I like this. Create a culture of tinkering. Tinkering. I can remember being given toys for Christmas, remote control cars for Christmas. Those remote control cars lasted every bit of a week. Why? Because I was always tinkering with them. I would take them apart. Why? Because I wanted to understand how these things work. When I press this button, why does the car go this way? Why does the car go left? Why does the car go right? What causes that to take place? Tinkering. And believe it or not, we need to tinker, if you will, in our business. We need to tinker and find out how things work. You know, some of you have Instagram accounts that are stagnant. Some of you have Twitter accounts that are as equally stagnant. All right. Tinker with those things. If you need help, pick up the phone, call me. I'll be glad to help you grow your social media. I'll be glad to help you engage your community, your small business community online. All right. So we need to create a culture of tinkering. Anyone that's associated with CSBJ, and that's the acronym for Connection Small Business Journal. You know, when you come to a Power Hour event, and we will talk about that later in this podcast, but when you come to a Power Hour event, we sit around that table and guess what we do? We tinker. We talk about strategies. We talk about things that work and things that don't work. What's recommended and what's not recommended. We do these things. Why? Because we are tinkering and learning, if you will, in our individual businesses. At this point, we're going to pause for a commercial break. And again, we're talking about today, luck versus hustle. Luck versus hustle.